Hello, I am Quinny. Welcome to the channel, guys. In this video today, we are going to be talking about how does Celtic qualify from the Champions League group stage that we've been drawn in alongside Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk and RB Leipzig. In the video today, I'll be breaking down all three of the opponents, exactly how many points I expect us to capture. At point of recording, we don't know the exact fixtures when we'll be playing exactly, but I've already earmarked the fixtures that I want us to get. So we'll be going through a little bit of fixture potential analysis, as well as the opposition and where I think we're going to get the points and where our strengths lie against each individual opponent. At any point in the video, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble and let's get stuck into it. If you could, hit the subscribe button. I do daily global football content, everything from Wonder Kids and Rising Star Managers to fantasy football and watch-alongs. The most popular content on the channel is transfer insights, Celtic analysis and SoRare tutorials. If you are new to SoRare and you haven't opened your account yet, there's a link in the description of this video. By clicking on that link, you'll get yourself a free limited card once you've bought 5 from the market, supporting all the content on Quinny 3001 and SoRare TV, and I thank you in advance if you do so. If you do have any further questions or need any advice, then just reach out to me in the comment section of the video. Now, RB Leipzig are a team that I've followed really closely for the last 5 or 6 years. I would definitely call myself a fan at this stage, and I was so surprised last year when Rangers knocked Leipzig out. It really took the wind out of my sails. It really left me speechless. And any Celtic fan that thinks that, Leipzig are a gimme or they are like an easy a soft touch on the basis of that is sorely mistaken. It might sound like it might sound like excuses or whatever, right? But Leipzig win the first game 1-0, playing a lot of rotation pieces here. The back three is much changed down to injury, and people recovering. Tyler Adams didn't play much last year, neither did Dominic Szoboszlai, but they won 1-0, and I can tell you this now, they underestimated Rangers. They then tried to get their best defenders back fit, and that failed. Both guys, Simican and Guardiola, come off injured, and Andre Silva was fit and available. He played. They lost that game quite terribly, and then they're going to Ibrox and they're playing still backup players, in defence through necessity, down to injury and stuff at the back here, but also up front. Yusuf Poulsen didn't start that many games last year, and he was absolutely ineffective, and they just didn't take the game seriously, to be quite honest with you, and they got absolutely sucker punched and they got absolutely blown away. And fair play to Rangers for everything they've done, right? But that defence is such a huge part of what makes Leipzig good in the way they play football. The back three, as we've seen in the last game, this is the strongest outfield that we can expect to see from them. Henriks is a right wing back, so he'll be playing over here, and Leimer will be central. But having that mirror image attack of Werner and Kunku on the break, with guys like Henriks and David Raum, that's like the primary attack for Red Bull football, if you like, or Leipzig football. And between Simican, Campo, Leimer, Olmo and Guardiola, that kind of central cross, if you like, that's the area where you really need to choke them out and stop them passing the ball. And with the front three, we've got guys like Kyogo, Maeda, even the guys in midfield like O'Reilly and Hatate and whatever. We've definitely got the muscle, the technical nous, the ability to get into that kind of central cross area and stop them getting on counter-attacks and stop them playing in transition. That's where these teams that play this type of football, Red Bull Leipzig being the kind of top of the food chain, if you like, is they play in transition. It's quick turnarounds of play, and all these guys know exactly what zones on the pitch to run into and to occupy for when the ball is going to travel across the left or across the right or through Werner or over the top of Ferran Kunku or whatever it might be. And the attacking talent this team has is not to be underestimated. Werner and Nkunku in particular, but also guys like Danny Olmo, Conrad Leimer, and the bench is covered with really good talent as well. Andre Silva, Emil Forsberg. So they're definitely not to be taken lightly. If we look at the form, if we look at the fixtures, I beg your pardon, the way Leipzig go, if we get Leipzig first and last in the group, we will play them right before they play Dortmund, which is good typically, because I've got that to worry about. And we would also play them last, which would be sandwiched in between games against Leverkusen and Hoffenheim, which would be very difficult fixtures for them in the Bundesliga. So I think if we get Leipzig first and last, I think that's an apex fixture pick. That's the one exactly we want. It just puts the most pressure on them to then potentially make the same mistake they made against Rangers against us. But We can definitely get at them. We can definitely beat them. Janis Blaszczykowski is the number 2 goalkeeper. The number 1 is currently out injured at the moment, and he's a pretty decent shot stopper. This back three butt is very, very good. We've got strikers, I think, that can cause this team problems, and definitely we can beat Leipzig at home. I don't have much question about that. If we're on our game and, like we say, we stuff out that kind of central cross and don't allow them to get on the ball and play, then we can definitely have a good bit of joy. The problem with playing against these teams, but is they will just capitalise upon a mistake. You know, I've seen plenty of games where Dontesk, the manager, even in different jobs he's had, and at Leipzig, they might not be in a game at all, but they can sneak a goal out of like a quick counter attack and that kind of stuff because they're such a well drilled, well organised team. You have to be on it for every single minute of the match. But these guys make mistakes as well, and Leipzig's defensive record, especially at the moment, They suffer from a very similar problem. I don't want to go on about Leipzig too much. I'll kind of leave it off with this, right? But they have a very similar problem to what we do in midfield, that they don't have any out-and-out, hard-hitting centre defensive midfielders. Between Kevin Campbell, Javier Schlager, Kormad Leimer and Amadou Haidara, you've basically got 4 guys that are all kind of the same, and it's very much like us with like Rio and Kalmak, and then Moy, and all these guys are all kind of the same. And then between Szoboszlai, who's rumoured to be leaving anyway, Emil Forsberg and Dani Olmo, again, you get 3 guys that are very much the same. But they don't have any real hard-hitting, ball-winning midfielders in there. They've been forced to play Benjamin Henriks in centre defensive midfield a few times. They really have a lack in there. So we definitely have the midfield and the forward line that can win this. But they're definitely maybe a team to watch out for where we get them fixture-wise and form and all that kind of stuff. Because again, if you slip up, they are a team that can just cut your throat. Now, Shakhtar Donetsk are much changed, and they're probably the team that you've got the most questions about, okay? As we look through the roster, there's 2 things that really jump out, okay? And I kind of was aware of this anyway, but all of their foreign players are gone. They're really just based upon homegrown players. They've got Lassina Traore or somebody like that still playing, but otherwise it's a full Ukrainian lineup, okay? Now, in goals, Anatoly Trubin, currently 21, has already made his name in Champions League group stage football with mad heroics against Real Madrid and Inter Milan, not last season but the season before, I'm sure it was. And he is like a great like up and coming goalkeeper and is a big match player, as it would be shown. And I say the rest of the team is domestic guys. They've got Ukraine camp, some of them have got Champions League and Europa League experience by being at Shakhtar over the years and are good players at this level, don't get me wrong. Mikhailo Mudryk, if that's how you say his name, is the next kind of up-and-coming like Ukrainian wonder kid that they've got in their team. He's been in hot form with like the friendlies and in the league matches that they have managed to play, and is definitely the main danger man, along with Lassina Traore up front. But beyond those names I gave you, maybe you'll recognise guys like Stepanenko, maybe you'll recognise Sergei Kristov, maybe you'll recognise Milachenko, a few of these guys, but it's our Ukrainian Premier League side really at this point. We should be taking 6 points off Shakhtar Donetsk. I really don't mind saying that at this point. Their home fixture, our away game against them, will be in a neutral ground, and I expect it to actually be a really beautiful match. I think the crowd will be good. I think it should be a good atmosphere, given the whole kind of spirit of what's kind of going on and everything. But on the football pitch, we should be getting 6 points out of Shakhtar Donetsk, no problem. Like I was mentioning earlier with Leipzig, again, I think we can definitely get a positive result at home. If we were to even play that in a worst case scenario and say we got let's just even say we won and we lost at home and away, I reckon we're at 9 points before we even come to Real Madrid. And Real Madrid are just exactly what you would expect. There's probably not very much, if anything, that I can tell you about Real Madrid. The only thing I would say is with Casemiro leaving, and they obviously made a huge transfer last January for Eduardo Camavinga, and then in the summer for Aurelien Tchouameni. And the first 2 games, as you can see here, the midfield 3 has been Camavinga, Tchouameni, Modric, or Tchouameni, Camavinga, Kroos. So I think this is going to be a theme that we're going to see throughout the season, is that midfield is getting upgraded and updated with Tchouameni and Camavinga, but Kroos and Modric are still being kept in prime position. Real Madrid are all about the Champions League. They traditionally, like last year, they lost against Sheriff Tiraspol. I'm pretty sure Sheriff Tiraspol maybe even got 4 points off Real Madrid, if memory serves me, but they're not imperious in the group stages, and if we were to get them as the double header, see if we were to get them in the middle, get match day 3 and match day 4, then we would actually be catching them right before an El Clasico, and Getafe is also a Madrid kind of derby, so it won't be an easy game necessarily, even though they don't need to travel or whatever, but having to play us home and away, as well as playing a little Madrid derby with Getafe and playing an El Clasico, in and around that time would be a great time to get Real Madrid. And as you can see with the defence, it's changed in the last 2 games. They clearly have a A defence and a B defence with like Nacho and Lucas Vazquez been in this team versus Carvajal and Alaba. Up front, of course, it's mainly Vinicius Junior and Benzema. We're going to see Valverde does fill in this position now to accommodate this kind of 4-man. It's almost like an inverted kind of 4-4-2 thing that's going on, or maybe even a 4-5-1 if you thought about Vinicius as more of a left winger. But if you see where Camavinga, the areas he picks up in the pitch, it is much closer to a 4-3-3. Also, Eden Hazard is coming back into fitness and fit when he's trying to get geared up for the World Cup, and he's talking a big game. And Asensio's on his way out potentially. But Real Madrid is just one of those ones where you just go toe to toe with them and you just do your best on the night. What I mean by toe to toe is from the manager's perspective in terms of playing your best game against them and not being scared, because that's the best way to get a result. These are the match days if you want to see them. They'll probably be forthcoming in time anyway. But I think it's quite feasible that we can finish on 10 points out of this division, out of this group, I should say. Sorry, no problem at all. Considering I think we can get 6 off Shakhtar, no problem at all, if we stick to our guns and we really play our football. And Leipzig, let's say we get 3 points there, and if we even got 2 draws or I think we can have fun with Real Madrid. I don't think they're So anyway, I think we can get to 10 points is basically what my maths brings me out at. And I think we've got the right components in midfield and attack to give Leipzig the game that we need to give them to get points. I think we've got more quality than Shakhtar Donetsk. And I think for the occasion and for the calibre of player, like Vinicius, don't get me wrong, there's elite players in here, right? But it's not the same as before when we've played like Bayern and PSG, who are real bully boy teams, overkill style. Real Madrid are just more of like the best team at being good at football. They'll just win matches of football just by the people that, and the way they carry themselves and the way they play on the pitch and whatever, rather than utter quality and utter elite dominance on the pitch, if that makes any kind of sense. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts on the group stages. Do you think we're going to... I think we're finishing with 10 points. I think we're getting out on 2nd position. What do you think we're going to do in the group stages? I cannot wait. Have a great game week this week. Have a great weekend. Obviously, Dundee United away should be a great 3 points for the Hoops. And I hope we get a resounding victory. I hope it's a high-scoring game and it just keeps that good... that feel-good atmosphere at the club bubbling higher and higher and higher as we gear up towards some glamour, ties, and hopefully some historical nights back at Celtic Park under the floodlights and now the disco lights. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hail, hail. Take care.